All right, there's some major changes to the OTB Open for this year that we need to talk about, and of course, predictions for how it'll all play out. Let's get into it. So just looking at the caddy book, it is definitely still a bomber course. There's obviously some amount of wooded sections, but there are holes that are 1,170 feet par 5s, and then we have 828 foot par 4s. So it is definitely important that you get distance, but that's really not an issue for really anybody in the top 20. So it's a much more accuracy, and even though it is a bomber course, your circle 2 putts are basically what I would consider the most important part of this course, considering how Ricky and Simon needed those circle 2 putts to really jam in their wins for the last couple of years. And speaking of Ricky, that is the next topic I want to jump on, and that is because Ricky and Paul are officially gone. And by gone, I mean like maybe a month, maybe a couple months. I think Paul isn't really going to be playing anything until like the European Open as far as the Pro Tour goes. There will be some coverage from DGN filming Paul's adventure in Europe, but as far as Pro Tour events go, it's nothing until European Open. And then for Ricky, we still have a big question mark. He has stated multiple times that he thinks he's getting better, he thinks he's going to play, but weeks after weeks go on and he is still not playing. So I think we have a while until either of them are in true form, which could definitely bring up some amazing play from players that you don't necessarily hear about nearly as often. And I would say that's a very, very good time for Nicholas, Kyle Klein, AB, Isaac Robinson. Obviously, they've been playing great already this year. Already some wins with those people, but with the generally considered champions of the sport being out of play, I think this really lends itself to being a great time for these players to become maybe not winning, but getting top 3, top 5 podium finishes, which is a great benchmark for your season. And they could actually take home the win, but they have to be the top 3 contenders for what I consider this weekend. And that would be obviously Simon, because he won last year. He's been playing pretty good this year with 1 win. And then Eagle obviously hasn't playing decent, just a little bit short for some of these events. And you don't necessarily know if he's going to perform great, but seeing how it is a bomber course and it does require circle 2 putts, I cannot think of anybody who could perform like the best round other than Eagle. It is just a matter of consistency, and I definitely don't know for sure if he'll get that, but I think he might. And then lastly, obviously Calvin, with already 2 Elite Series wins, 1 silver win, and his putting being astronomically better than it has ever been. I think it is pretty hard pressed to bet on anybody other than Calvin, and seeing how he got second place last year by 2 strokes, which was basically just 1 stroke for the first round and 1 stroke for the second round. Other than that, he was neck and neck with Simon. So I think it is definitely a given that Calvin is the go-to favorite. But like I said before, there is some wooded sections and there is a huge need for circle 2 putts in very precarious positions. You may be just a little bit off. You may have trees that are in your line that might get in the way. So it is definitely a course where you need to get a little bit of luck and drill it through the trees, even if it gets a little shady. No pun intended. And then on FPO, we have the biggest player to ever play the sport, to me. Obviously, it's hot take. Kristin Tattar is officially going to Europe, so she is not playing this event, which leads to some pretty interesting circumstances. So Paige is basically out of contention. I don't really know what's been up. She has like some injuries. I'm not even sure if she's playing this week. She is registered, but this could really be a battle between Owen, Katrina Allen, and maybe Kat Merch. You do have Haley King and Ella Hansen that have the distance for this course, but I just don't know if they have the accuracy. You also have Owen, who is the highest rated by a decent margin, but she just doesn't really have the distance to play on this course. That'll definitely be a detriment to her play. But looking at last year, she had some amazing upshots that were indicative of her tremendous skill and trust in her disc. But once again, like MPO, I think it is definitely a possibility that we get some crazy, unexpected winner here, seeing as how Kristin is out of the country. But if I had to pick, I'm probably going to pick Katrina Allen. She just has a sort of cold streak recently. I think this will be the win that she needs to prove that she is toe-to-toe with Kristin, even though Kristin is not here. This is similar to LVC, seeing as how Katrina Allen won LVC. I think this is definitely a possibility for her to get another win, but it'll really just be a matter of can they hit the circle 2 putts and play in the wind, because wind will definitely be a factor on this course. And overall, my thoughts on this course is pretty unremarkable. I hate golf courses. This is another golf course. I want them to stop playing these courses that are so lame. I know it is a difficulty getting signal on the wooded courses, but I have so many courses in my hometown of Kansas City that has so much more interesting shot shapes and lines than this course. So I would love to see them differentiate themselves by not playing these golf courses, but I can definitely see how it is a much easier task, and the Pro Tour is still not at that level where they can choose good courses over a good signal. It's lame, but that's just where we're at right now. But with that said, what do you guys think about this course? Who do you think will take it down? I would love to hear about it. And a major side note, I have one of the most unique videos coming out tomorrow, so don't miss it. It is going to be about Breath of the Wild. If you are a fan of it, you'll definitely enjoy it, so don't miss that. Wild Runs, signing out. Peace.